We've got GT Masters cars on the grid. We are about to go racing very shortly with the first of two races here, the second event of the 2017 season. And if you like Mercedes-AMG, you like Porsches, you like Lamborghinis, you like Chevrolet Corvettes, then you are in for a treat, because we have got between 500 and 650 brake horsepower cars. We got some of the top European drivers here on the grid, and we have got always close racing with one mandatory pit stop. No tyres, no refueling. It's straight raw racing with these cars here around the Lausitzring. We are situated around about 40 minutes drive from Dresden, between Dresden and Berlin in the east part of Germany. This circuit, which was opened in the year 2000. An oval circuit, but with a more standard racetrack, traditional racetrack in the infield. So they use parts of the Indy circuit, including the start-finish straight, which they're on now, and they use parts of the infield as well. Just under 3.5 kilometres around the lap. I'm Chris Hartley here, trackside at what is a pretty warm but slightly overcast and slightly breezy Lausitzring. There are huge amounts of people here in the grandstands down below us, because we've got GT Masters, we've got DTM Porsches and Formula 4 all this weekend. It's a real motorsport festival, the second time they've done this in succession at this time of the year, and it's a real crowd pleaser. There you can see the Le Mans style lineup of the cars ready for the start. I'm Chris Hartley. Alongside me is a man that knows all about this circuit and all about these types of cars and Porsches in particular. Alex Tyrrell, professional racing driver, race winner at various 24-hour events in his class, including the Nürburgring 24 hours. And at the start of this year, he got the 2017 season off to a fantastic start, the Dubai 24-hour class win as well. Alex, welcome along to the Lausitzring. What a feast of fantastic cars and drivers on the grid for this race.
Good afternoon, Chris. Thank you very much. Yeah, exactly. We have an amazing grid with almost all the GT3 brands represented here, and looking forward to the race. Qualifying yesterday was really frightening, and really in the last minute we saw the pole. Just look at Stoll, how he managed to put the pole lap just exactly in the really last minute with the checkered flag. So I'm really sure we'll have a race, plenty of action.
Absolutely right. Robert Renauer, one of the drivers in the number 99 ADAC Motorsport car, the Super Cup Porsche champion and Porsche Carrera Cup Germany champion of last year. Sven Muller is going to be his teammate. The way it works in GT Masters, if you've not seen it before, is that there are two one-hour races. There are two separate qualifying sessions. The drivers are graded, as is traditional in GT racing, at 3 levels. There are pro drivers, which is the equivalent to the FIA Gold driver category system. There are semi-pros, equivalent to FIA Silver drivers, and there are non-pros or amateurs, which are the equivalent to FIA Bronze drivers. And it is the lesser graded driver that does the first qualifying session and starts race 1, and the more experienced, the quicker drivers qualifying the second qualifying session, which sets the grid for race 2, and they start race 2. There you can see the grid. We've got Mercedes first and second on the grid. It's Luca Stoltz that's going to start the number 21 Mercedes on pole position. Luca Ludwig, who's been a champion in GT Masters, is his driving partner. They are in the Mercedes-AMG GT3 car, and alongside them is another Mercedes, just a tenth slower in qualifying. Number 48 is going to be started by Indy Dante. And then we've got Porsche. Porsche is the most successful manufacturer here at the Lausitzring. They've won 8 of the 20 races so far that have happened at this circuit. And it's Porsche 911 that is third on the grid. You saw the onboard camera. It's Robert Renauer, who's come up from the German Porsche Carrera Cup Championship. Car 99 starting third. Sven Barth is going to start the number 13 Corvette for RWT Racing in 4th place. 5th place, Jules Ganon and Daniel Karlwitz. They won a race here last year in the Corvette Callaway competition Corvette, which goes so well, and Daniel Karlwitz, and a former champion of GT Masters as well. 6th on the grid then is going to be the number 19 machine. That's going to be Ezequiel Perez Compact from Argentina, starting in the Lamborghini Huracan. 7th, Ralf Ineken, a multiple Class B champion Porsche Carrera Cup Germany racing, and Christian Engelhardt, multiple runner-up in the Porsche Carrera Cup, that starts alongside. So those are the first few rows of the grid. We've got just under 30 cars then. As the lights go out, the 1 hour race gets underway. Good start for the pole-sitting car of Luca Stoltz, but Indy Dante was a bit slight going off the line. He got Lamborghinis trying to come either side of him. He goes deep into the corner. It's the Porsche that gets into second place. Robert Renauer's got the better start there. It was a little bit tardy off the line for Indy Dante. He came back then as they went up through the gears, but under braking, the Porsche got underneath him and went second. He got the 2 green Lamborghinis going side by side as well. Ralf Ineken, Sven Mucker, and then around goes the Audi And one of the Porsches as well. It's the number 36 Porsche of Klaas Backler, and the one pointed the wrong way is the number 24 Audi of Philippe Salaquada, facing in the wrong direction, and another Audi in strife as well. Looks like the number 50 car. That's the Rahal Frey Philip Greipel car. Rahal Frey, the ex-DTM racer, on board, and we've got one of the Mercedes going off now wide with a problem. This has been a very lively start, I think is one way of putting it. So the safety car is going to try and calm them all down and bring them out. But at the head of the field, with the safety car about to pick him up, it's the pole sitter Lucas Stoltz that leads the way, with Robert Renau making a good start in the Porsche to get into second place. But all sorts of different incidents there, which I think, Alex, was a chain reaction, really, of what happened at the front. And it's so tight, isn't it, through turn 1, the left-hander, straight into turn 2, the right-hander. Big, wide GT cars, not much room to fit. And as soon as somebody gets into a problem, those behind then hit the brakes, and there's a roll-on effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit the chewing man situation. Everyone brakes and everyone brakes into other. But I think I just saw one of the Land cars going really optimistic on the brake on the inside. And I think that's clipped the inside of the another car, spun the Porsche, and then they collide with, or he blocked the way of the Audi with the Tyler advertising. So we will see probably now the replay. Really good start from the Mercedes.
He did, got straight in there. The yellow and green Mercedes wasn't as quick off the line, he did, Deontay. Then he came back under brake and blocked the Porsche there of Renauer, braving it down the inside. And then this is where it started. They got into the corner, okay. It's coming out of the corner, then into turn 2, where it starts to go wrong. See Rahal Frey getting tapped from behind there. But that wasn't the cause of her initial incident. Here's the replay of the rolling start. And an onboard now from in that pack. I think this is looking back from Robert Renau's Porsche, I would say. The number 13 Corvette of Sven Barth makes a good start, gets ahead of the other Corvette and almost nibbles on the Mercedes of Finde Jonte, which just about fends him off. So this is from second place Porsche looking back at third. This is from the pole sitter Lucas Stoltz. I say all the action's going to be behind, really. In front, there was a nice clear track for him.
Yeah, we see Andy Dunn just locking even a little bit. Even with these cars have ABS, it was even locking, so it was really hard on the brakes.
I think he might clip the back of the race leader as well. It was very close. I think
a little bit. And then we see now here on the left the Audi Land going too optimistic in the inside, clipping the Porsche, the Porsche clipping the Audi and locking the way. You're
always at risk if you're on the outside line, because if there is contact on the inside, you get all the impact.
Yeah, we see here. Yeah, again, it was a bit after the action, but yeah, we clip. This is always the problem. That's the good point and the bad point, because sometimes inside it gets what you call a train. So the cars are really in the inside and slow, and sometimes if you're around the outside, you can even drive faster without the traffic and overtake sometimes even 2 to 3 cars. This we've seen, but at this situation, yeah, sometimes the inside is better, because always, of course, when it's a crash at the apex of the corner, it goes with the acceleration, which means it goes to the outside of the corner.
Yeah, absolutely right. You make a decision, I think, don't you, at the start of the race, whether you're going to go for it or not around the outside. With the risk incident between those two cars is being investigated. That is the number 24 BWT Muka Motorsport Audi. Muka Motorsport, a local team here. They're based just down the road in Berlin as well. This was the other incident that was being sent around Rahal Frey.
Yeah, we also have the start and the investigation, so we might see if I would think that the race director maybe is not happy with Lucas Stoll accelerating too early the pack, but we will see what's that's about. But yeah, they will investigate the start, and also we just saw before the Rahal Frey car getting clipped by the Mercedes.
Yeah, it's going to be quite busy in race control, isn't it? Looking at all these various incidents, and so they're also perhaps looking at other cars that haven't already been called up. Safety car is coming in on this lap. Lucas Stoltz is your race leader, the 21-year-old from Kirchen in Germany. And somebody who came up through initially single-seaters, Formula 3, German Porsche Carrera Cup, GT Masters debut a few years ago in 2014. Leading the championship is Ricky Collard and Philipp Enger. Philipp Enger, the double Porsche Carrera Cup Germany and Super Cup champion as well. Ricky Collard, son of Rob Collard, BMW man through and through with the BTCC. Ricky second in the British Formula 3 Championship last year, being backed by BMW. And they picked up a winning race 2 at Oschersleben. So they've got 26 points. Mikael Amamola and Mathieu Yamane are second, just a point behind them on 25. Bunching up then now, ready to hit the throttle and get this race restarted. So here they come onto the banking. Looks like a good restart. Looking out the window, he's got a couple of lengths lead before he comes out of this last turn. in the Mercedes, but Robert Renauer doing a good job in the Porsche with the super quick Sven Muller to come in that car as well. The two Corvettes are running nose to tail, with fourth place belonging at the moment to number 13 Sven Barth, Valvoline number 77 car of Jules Guenon just behind as well. Race winners, as I said here, last year, but a good clean restart, no problems there at all. Stefan Mucker is next up as well, son of Peter Mucker, who owns the Mucker Motorsport team, based, as I say, down the road in Berlin. This is actually Stefan Mucker's first time racing at the Lausitzring since he was in the DTM back in 2006, so it's more than 10 years since he raced here. There he is, coming through shot. Oh! Contact though between the Mercedes and the Lamborghini, and the Lamborghini is sent backwards. That's Rolf Ineken. Can he keep it going? Yes, on the escape road, it's all over the place. He's going to get back on the grass, and it's going to take a while, but he'll get it back on the track. And the Mercedes just clipping, well, more than a clip, wasn't it? It was quite heavy impact on the way into the corner.
Yeah, we need to see the replay, but in my opinion, I think the Lamborghini closed too much the door to the Mercedes, which was already on the inside, and it caused the accident. We need to see, we will see some replay now soon. Yeah, it was Stefan Mucker was talking about that was the other driver involved in that. You have now the accident under investigation.
Yeah. It's going to be quite a few of those, I suspect. It's quite a lively start to the day so far. We've only had 7 minutes. I've had all sorts of, only had a couple of racing laps as well. I've had all sorts of incidents to talk about already. But first two are well clear, and now defending third place here. Quite hard is Inde Dante, because he's got the Corvette trying to come around the outside of him. He holds the inside line in the Mercedes. The Corvette number 13 pushing on those Sven Barth, but can't find a way through. And all the time it allows Jules Guenon to get even closer to the pair of them. So Sven Barth has been racing in this championship for 5 years now, since 2013. Very experienced GT racer. Second in the German Formula 3 Cup at one point when he was a youngster coming through single-seaters. Jules Guenon in the number 77 Corvette just behind. These Corvettes sound. I was watching the qualifying session on the infield through the final few turns through 10, 11 and 12 and onto the banking. Those Corvettes sound brilliant, don't they, when they come back?
Yeah, I have to be said, to be honest, it's a really good sound. It's again putting Inde Dongen into attack, which is this. It's leading to Robert Renauer to be able to open a gap between P2 and P3 and give him a little bit of fresh air to don't look too much on the mirror and can focus into chase Lukacs-Stoll.
6.1 litre V8 Corvette then all over the back of the Mercedes, trying to get into the podium paying positions. There's no doubt they're going for the championship this year. Daniel Karvitz and Jules Guenon, who are just behind them, finished third overall last year. Mercedes gets a clean run though, doesn't it? Coming out back out onto the banking. The Corvette, I think, has got a bit more grunt in the straight line. Will pick up a toe. He's already defending here in Inde Dante in the yellow and green Mercedes. On the way into the left-hander at turn one, the Corvette tries to come around the outside, gets his nose in front, but a right-hander coming up. He runs out of road. He's squeezed. He still tries to come on the inside, and luckily there's no contact between them. And it's bringing everybody else onto their case now, including this man, Jules Guenon, in the number 77 car. You've also got then 2 or 3 others coming up the order as well, including the first of the bright green Lamborghinis of Perez Compact as well, the Argentinian driver. Just behind him at the back of that train is Jeffrey Schmitz, who came up through the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany over the last couple of years, and the Porsche Super Cup. Ooh.
Yeah, this we saw. This is the replay from we have the battle between Inaichen and Stefan Mucker before. Now we can see maybe the replay. Yeah, we see the Lamborghini, like I was saying, he was too optimistic, closing the door. Stefan Mucker was already in the inside, and there was no room for both. Yeah, we'll see.
I think he had his nose in front as well already, didn't he?
Yeah, he just went too optimistic to the left when the Mercedes was already there. Maybe he didn't check the mirror, so he didn't saw him on his inside, and then...
And a drive-through penalty for Rolf Ineken. So
yeah,
the stewards agree with you, absolutely. That's you can see why you're a racing driver, you see these things. Sometimes I think there's always perhaps people automatically assume it's the guy doing the overtake that's to blame, but sometimes it is. You've got the line, it's the other guy that needs to let you go.
And we also see they already investigate the star, and the star was okay, so no further action regarding the star. Where we see again Inde Dongen closing the door to Sven Barth, and this is also allowing the cars in behind to get closer. So we might have a battle for P3.
And all sorts of battles here going on, aren't we? And just about to see the Porsche make a move as this is coming into the pit lane. The Lamborghini
making the drive-through penalty.
He's going to, obviously you have to take that. You can't take that as part of your mandatory stop. The mandatory stops are between 25 and 35 minutes, so we'll have to really hope for a safety car to bunch them all up again to try and get something out of this race. This then, the battle for third place. Mercedes versus 2 Corvettes here. Number 48, Indy Dante, doing a good job to fend off the 2 Corvettes. Defending, coming onto the banking. This is the number 17 Porsche. I think this is the one we just cut away from when the move was about to happen. This is Mathieu Jaminet. And Jaminet coming through on the inside.
Connor De Filippi defending. Yeah, but was a clear move. Jaminet got the inside on the brakes. Job done.
Yeah, Connor De Filippi, last year's championship winner with Christopher Mies. Going to be racing against him next weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, and then we keep doing this battle, going again into the straight line. We'll try maybe Sven Barth to get the position now. Indy dodging again, defending on the left. So maybe Sven trying to get another tactic and roam the outside. Maybe he can do the switch back now into the inside. Too tight on the brakes, it was close.
Nearly.
Nearly.
It's a good idea, wasn't it? I understand completely why he went for it, because he was expecting him to try the outside lining and he tried the dummy move there. Look how much closer those Jules Ganault in the number 77 Corvette has got to them as a result of that. And also right on the back of him, you've got Ezequiel Perez Campa with the Argentinian, who's just about half a length back as well. And then everybody else in a long, long line as well. Flying off one of the cars there, but I think it was anything too much to worry about. A bit of body work, a bit of aero. But hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. And this is a...
Someone maybe clipping the wall again. Oh no, here we see the
replay of that bit of bodywork coming off, isn't it? Out of harm's way, luckily. Nobody else collecting it. Always the risk of a puncture when bits of bodywork start flying off. Having lost his 10th position, Connor De Filippi, the American, in the number 1 car, has just set the fastest first sector of anybody, but then second sector is the race leader that goes quicker than anybody's gone through that part of the lap so far, Lucas Stoltz. Look a little bit to get into the car after as well, a very strong driver, son of DTM.
Yeah, we see this battle between Indy Donje and Sven Barth. It's absolutely going in the favor of Robert Renauer and Lukas Stahl. They open now a gap of almost 5.5 seconds, 5.5 seconds.
And the longer this goes on, does it become easier then for Dante in the Mercedes, because he knows what's coming, he knows how to defend and where to defend?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you need to be optimized. We see now, for example, the mistake. He lost the rear on the power. So this is what exactly what you were saying. He needs to really keep the be constant, don't lose the focus, because it's really easy now to make a mistake. You've been burned a lot of laps trying to close the gap, close the door. Don't let Sven Barth go in. And you need to really take care to don't do a mistake. So we just already saw one. So we might see another one coming soon.
And if he's going too defensive into some of the corners, he's too tight on the curbs, then when he gets on the power, the car is going to
get Sven now driving into the inside, but it's too far away. No, he's going into the gravel.
Through the gravel, too wide, too late on the brakes. He went for it, he tried something different. But
he needs to get on the power, if not he will get stuck. It's now full power, wheels spinning.
And loads of power, no grip. It's going to be hard to get it out of the gravel, as you say, but he's done a good job. He's going to bring a right old mess back onto the circuit. Yes, a moment of joy there for the team. Quickly evaporated as he didn't quite make the corner. It was a brave effort, but when you overtake, you always take a risk, and no risk, no gain. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. It did work out for Jules Ganault, who's got to 4th place as a result of that. Paris Compact's come up to 5th position, and up to 6th place is Jeffrey Schmidt now in the Audi.
Yeah, we also see Mathieu Jaminet attacking Florian Spengler for position number 8, and also Connor De Filippi chasing back.
Connor De Filippi's suddenly quick in the Audi, isn't he? He's struggled a bit for the first few laps, but he's starting to push on now. Christopher Mies is going to get in the car with him, flashing the lights just to try and put him off. Is Christopher Howard. Does that ever work? Do you ever get distracted by people flashing their lights at you?
It can be. I'm just laughing a bit because Mathieu Jaminet is coming from Carrera Cup, and in Carrera Cup Germany is something you do really often when you're someone behind someone, just flash. So he's still on the Carrera Cup mode. Yeah, but yeah, we saw Jaminet then running a bit wide and pushing, so that may give the option to De Filippi. Is defending into the inside. Yeah, it was really tight side to overtake here.
Filippi might be getting a better run coming out of the corner, though. Look back at him now from the onboard camera. This is on the back of Hamanet's car, but Hamanет covers the line, keeps it going. So there you're looking back at Connor De Filippi, winner of the championship last year in the Audi, currently running in 10th place. They didn't actually win here at the Lausitzring. They got points in both races. They got a podium finish, but weren't race winners here at the Lausitzring. As I say, Daniel Karlvitz and Jules Gunon, who are currently 4th in the number 77 Corvette, won a race, and Robert Renauer and Martin Ragginger, who drove with him last year, won the first race in a Porsche. Tremendous driver is Martin Ragginger, really quick. Always remember going to first GT Masters race I ever covered a couple of years ago at Zandvoort, and going out and watching him practice around the fast parts of the circuit. Utter commitment from Martin. Robert Renauer doing a very good job in 2nd place. He's only a second behind the race leader.
Yeah, it's been putting some good laps in the look at shot. It's been putting some good laps in the last 2-3 rounds. So it's making the gap wider and wider, but it never managed to really open a big gap between him and Robert Renauer, where we see the gap in the other way. We see the gap between P2 and P3 is now 7.6 seconds. So it's 6.6 seconds. So it's getting longer and longer. So we see the Lukács Stoll and Robert Renauer pulling away from P3. Now we need to see if Jules Gunon managed to get closer into Indy Dodgen and put the pressure again on him.
That's right, so the gap's changing, but only fractionally.
We also see now the BMW from Ricky Collard coming back from the grid, making some position up. We will try now into the inside of the Audi, inside of the
nice move, Ricky.
Audi.
Ricky
Yeah,
Collard.
it was a good mile, so he got 2 positions in one.
Nice move in the BMW, the Schnitzer BMW, the white, blue and red number 42 car. That is the championship leader. Ricky coming into GT racing for the first time. I mean, become a very close runner-up in the Formula 3 championship last year. They'll cover themselves off just behind, and tucking him behind him then is the Audi. Same colour scheme as the other Mercedes, because ADAC Motorsport are running both Audis and Mercedes here this weekend. But good move that from Collard, just behind him. Mike David Ortman, another very young driver, just 17 in the bright pink Audi. They're 14th and 15th, and right behind them in 16th place is now this is the number 7 Team HB Racing Lamborghini Huracan, which didn't do qualifying, so it's come from the back of the grid. So that is a good effort. It's Marco Mappelli who's in the car at the moment. Robert Seidler, another ex-Porsche Carrera Cup race to get in on board with him. Kicking up the dust though. Here, is it going to be a change of position? Yes, there is. Ricky Collard gets 2 and then loses 2 a few corners later. Just ran a bit wide there, lost his traction. So Ricky losing another couple of positions from the junior BMW driver scheme. His dad, Rob Collard, already a race winner this year in the BTCC and coming close to winning the championship last year. Went right down to the wire at Brands Hatch. And Rob racing in BTCC this weekend at Alton Park. He's also got another member of the Collard family. There's 3 generations of racing. The late great Mickey Collard, a great short track oval racer and world champion. And Jordan Collard racing in Ginettas this year as well. So a real racing family. Covering off the line though is the pink number 25 Audi of Mike David Ortman, doing a solid job. So it's a great scrap here in the midfield. 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th positions in a long line, and that queue is going to get longer, I suspect. The gap at the front has crept out slightly. It's just still at 1.3 seconds though. Robert Renauer doing a very good job. We still have the number 21 pole sitting Mercedes leading the way, Lukács Stoltz. Robert Renauer in the Porsche in second, not far behind him as I say, but 6.6 seconds clear of the scrap for 3rd place. Still in 3rd place, Inde Dionte, the Dutch driver. Now, that is not looking too healthy, is it? The front of the car flapping around here on the number 20 Mercedes. That's Nikolai Silvestre, and one of the Zack Speed cars. And one of the bonnet catches perhaps has come loose. Not sure, will he feel that in the car, do you think, as a driver?
A little bit, because we saw now that the front splitter is broken. So yeah, definitely you will feel this on some vibration on the steering wheel and on the strain, also losing some aero. We need to check, because if it's getting too loose, it can turn to be even dangerous. They still have like 5 minutes till the pit window opens. So if he can maybe hold this, then the team can maybe repair it during the driver change. Put some tape on and do the quick repair.
Meanwhile, trying to build up as much advantage as he can. It's a new fastest lap of the race for the race leader last time around, Lukács Stoltz. with a 1:23.098, so the gap goes out to 1.4 seconds now. It's only a tenth quicker than Robert Renauer. Black and orange flag, there, you called it exactly right, Alex, because black and orange flag means technical disqualification for Nikolai Silvestre. Means he's got to come in and fix the problem, and the scrutineers have to be happy before they let him back out. So he could still finish the race, but it's going to lose an awful lot of time, I'm afraid, and agonisingly close to the pit window opening as well, which is going to be in
maybe he's lucky, because you have 3 laps to accomplish the penalty. So maybe in his 3rd lap, if the pit window open, he can go in and repair and do both things together, because you don't have to repair and then do the pit window lap, so you can do both things at the same time.
True, yeah. So
maybe he's still lucky with 4 minutes to go to the window, maybe 3-4 laps. It's gonna be tight for him, but I think he can still manage to.
Yeah, minute and 23 a lap, minute and 24 if you're in the midfield. So yeah, it could just do it. Yeah, if you pass the black flag 3 times, you're in.
No, but it's
trouble.
coming in now.
All right. We should listen to you, because I think you're right. He probably could have made it. It was worth a try, but he came in early anyway. Perhaps he's losing too much time as a result of it. So that car comes in. It's going to have to come in again in a few minutes' time to serve the mandatory pit stop, which is between 25 and 35 minutes. For driver changes, there's no changing of the Pirelli tyres. There's no refuelling in GT Masters.
We see not much movement in the team. I think it's race over for Nikolai Silvestre.
So
people putting the jacks on, and so race over for the car number 20.
So presumably a bigger underlying problem than just a bit of loose bodywork and a slightly cracked splitter. So the drivers will be starting to get ready. Presumably you'd want to get your quicker driver in as soon as possible, and it is the higher graded drivers that go second in this first race. It's the other way around for race 2. Now you have to come in that 10-minute window. It's between 25 and 35 minutes. You can't come in on that lap. So there are some championships where the pit window closes, but as long as you've gone past the closed board, you can come in on that lap. This one, it's done to the time. So if you come in 35 minutes, 0.000 seconds and 1/1000th of a second after that, you are pitting outside of the pit window. Equally, you can't come in 24 minutes and 59.999 seconds into the race, because that's too early. So you have to get it exactly right in this 10-minute pit window. Limited number of people.
We see Mathieu Jaminet attacking Florian Spengler.
Good move from nowhere, that, wasn't it? And the Lamborghini wasn't without contact. He's going to struggle now to get the speed coming out of the corner and might come under attack from the Audi that's just behind. So Christoph Hohen, the number 9 car, was the one losing the position, being bullied out of the way.
Yeah, we see down in the brakes, hard, really on the edge, clipping a bit on the door, making the space a bit wider and getting to the inside. Really good move, clean move. Even if it's a little bit of touch, this is racing. This is what we want to see. Yeah,
it was Hoa in the Porsche on Spengler, Florian Spengler in the yellow and green Audi. You can't really get any closer, can you? Just a little bit of rubbing there. But there was a gap, and he went for it. And, as you say, aggressive, but I don't think that is one that will come under investigation. They both got through the corner as well. So lively racing all the way down through the field. It's all coming at turn 1, because naturally that's from pretty much the fastest point of the circuit into one of the slowest points of the circuit, hard on the brakes. We're into the pit window now as well, so we start to see teams getting ready. Materials coming out of the garages.
Yeah, we saw Lucas Stoll just did the fastest lap of the race in the last lap. So that means the tires are lasting
well around here, aren't they? And they have a limit as well. They have 3 sets of slicks. They have to last all of free practice, both sessions, both qualifying sessions, and both races, just 3 sets of tyres.
That's then Barth trying to move.
Then the Corvette, trying to go around the outside is the Corvette, trying to find a way back on the exit to the corner, but can't do so. So that was a nice move there to get the position. And that's, again, on the way into the slower, twisty sections. Here's a replay. And slow motion shot.
We just see the
flying off.
Jaminet just clip a bit the rear of the Lamborghini from Florian Spengler, and now just we have the debris on the track.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, you saw that become.
It's not a real dangerous spar, but if someone dives on the inside for this corner, might become dangerous. So let's see what the race direction does.
Yeah, Spengler in the we saw actually become semi-dislodged with the contact with the move on the previous lap. So it's taken a lap, but it's fallen off now. Black and white flag, warning flag to Florian Spengler. in the yellow and black Lamborghini Huracan, which you've seen, and pit stop activity now happening in this race.
Jeffrey Schmidt coming in.
Right.
Yeah, it's also have some damage on the car I haven't noticed before.
It's right on the money as well. The pit window opened just as he crossed the line. It was literally 35 seconds dead. That's going to be within tenths of a second of the pit window opening.
Yeah. We see Christopher Hase will jump now in the car. We also saw Ricky Collard coming in.
Oh,
the door is
stuck.
That is stuck.
I wonder if that's from some contact somewhere.
Okay, now
on the
it's
race.
open. This is something you don't plan.
No, exactly. Always have a plan B. So that's delayed. The driver that's getting out of the car is allowed to help the driver that is getting into the car. But in terms of the amount of people that can work on the car itself, only 2 team members. They're only allowed 1 air gun as well, should they need it. And the minimum pit stop time is 65 seconds. That's pit in to pit out. So that's not the amount of time you stop. That's the amount of time from crossing the pit line entry to crossing the pit line exit line. Also in is the number 42 BMW, the M6 of Team Schnitzer. So Ricky Collard handing over to Philip Eng. What a great opportunity for Ricky Collard to learn from somebody with huge amounts of experience. Philip Eng, Porsche Super Cup champion in 2015, double Carrera Cup Germany champion. Good single-seater racer as well. Was close to winning the Formula 2 championship back in the day. Bit of gaffer tape and he's sent back on his way then. I'm going to see a flurry of pit stops now in this. And you've got to make sure you are, as a team, not under that minimum pit stop time of 65 seconds as well. Just to clarify, you can't change tyres, but you can swap tyres. So in the case of the weather changing, swap obviously from wets to dries or dries to wets, but you can swap the near side and far side tyres. If you do choose to do that, your minimum pit stop time will extend by 10 seconds, from 65 to 75 seconds. But there's no putting of fresh rubber on. That's something that applies to the qualifying sessions as well. They have to use 1 set of tyres for qualifying, and that is it. So there is your race leader. Lukas Stoltz doing a great job. He's eked the gap out to 2 seconds. But in these pit stops, you can easily lose 3 or 4 or 5 seconds when things like doors get stuck or you have to wait to be released. It's quite a big, long pit lane here, so it's not too crammed in there. But you've seen it's taken the whole half of the race to get just a 2-second lead for Lukas Stoltz, and you can lose 3, 4, 5 seconds by being a bit sluggish getting the next driver in, or doing up the belts, or being too slow on the outlap. So this is a critical stage of the race.
Yeah, we'll see now also how is he managing now with the traffic, because, for example, Ricky Collard just went out of the pit lane in front of Lukas Stoltz, so he needs to deal with this traffic, with this car coming out that are at the moment being lapped till Lukas Stoltz accomplishes a mandatory pit stop.
Christopher Mies has got into the number 1 Audi, so taking over from Conor.
Oh, no!
Tyres off!
Christopher Mies went off!
Straight into the car which was leading the race, Lukas Stoltz's car rather, has got damage, but it's going to survive. Fully around, gets going again. He can't believe it. Back in the garage. Unbelievable that. So that was coming out of the pits, just getting on the throttle too heavily. Christopher Mies as well, all of his experience as the defending champion. What's the damage like? Bit to the left corner. So look at the Audi coming out of the pits.
Can't believe this.
And then gets on the throttle, gets out of shape. I think he was trying to get on the brakes and get out of the way, actually, of the Mercedes of Lukas Stoltz. Race leader sent out by a car which was rejoining from the pits, just clipped the back, but at those speeds, it's enough to send him round and on the grass, and the 2-second lead will have evaporated now. It still should be rejoining in the top 5 or 6, I think, but I doubt he's going to be in the top 3. Certainly not going to be leading the race. You saw the Porsche flashing through there. So Robert Renauer is going to hand over the Porsche as the race-leading car now. Right on the corner there. It looked like he was caught in 2 minds, didn't it, as he came out of the pits? It looked like he got slightly out of shape and then saw this Mercedes coming through. The car was already out of shape, and I wonder if he hit the brakes then and then was caught in 2 minds.
Obviously, accident is under investigation, but it's a mistake from Christopher Mies. He went too hard out of the pit lane and clipped the leading car. Let's see now if Lukas Stoltz comes to the pit. He might repair something. They would put some tape.
Had the helmet on, but you could see the look of sheer horror on Luka Ludwig's face, couldn't you? There he is getting into the car now. Son of the 3-time DTM champion Klaus Ludwig, somebody that won the the FIA World GT Championship as well. His dad Klaus, but Luka knows how to win a championship or 2 as well, having won this category. He gets strapped into the car. Not the race leaders anymore, though. Luka winning the championship with Sebastian Asch in 2015.
And all this just made the way smoother for Robert Renauer and Sven Müller, which they will do somehow soon, the mandatory pit stop.
Drive-through penalty for car number 2 due to the violation. So that number 2 car coming in is the Land Motorsports Audi. Jeffrey Schmidt and Christopher Haas car comes in.
Maybe they were too early, 1 second or two too early into the pit lane.
Yeah, the article 39.1 is related to pit stops essentially. So, yeah, as I was about to say earlier, if you are in and out of the pits in 64.99 seconds, it's still under time, and you have to come in and do a drive-through penalty. Or if you pit out of the pit window as well. And that was the car that was coming in, as I say, crossed the line literally as the pit window opened. So it was going to be very close, and I think that probably came in a fraction too early. So pit stop penalty, all for the sake of trying to get a tenth of a second, but it's so hard to get these things precise because you've got to get as close to the minimum and as close to the window as you possibly can to be competitive. But the risk is if you get it wrong by a hundredth or a thousandth of a second, costs you not just the time you stopped in the pits with the drive-through, but the time it loses coming in and out of the pits as well. The number 6 Lamborghini Huracan has come into the pits just under the commentary box. That's Florian Spengler, who's going to hand over to Christopher Zanella, former front-runner in Formula 2 racing. He was beaten to the title in, I think it was 2012 by Mirko Bertolotti, who's leading the Lamborghini GT Championship this year and racing this weekend in GT Masters. He's going to get into the number 19 Lamborghini Huracan for the second stint, Mirko Bortolotti, so that should fly. So Robert Renaud has got a 6-second lead now over the number 48 car up to second place of Indy Dante.
He comes now into the pit, so we hand over to Sven Müller, which is already waiting, Robert Renaud.
Sven, who was supported by Porsche. Porsche Junior coming up and winning the Super Cup last year and the German Carrera Cup Championship. Mighty driver, a real opportunity. As I say, Porsche have a really good record here, better record than anybody else at the Lausitzring. Already 8 wins out of the 20 races so far that they've had here over the years. In comes the race leading car then, 6.6 seconds clear of Indy Dante. And you're going to have the likes of Jules Ganon and Daniel Karlvitz in the number 77 Callaway competition car hunting for a podium now as well. Drive-through penalty for Christopher Mies for pushing another car. So that's the car that came out of the pits and clipped the race leader. Nothing deliberate about it at all, but the officials have adjudged that it was a mistake and he should pay for it. Now you can see on the map in the bottom left corner, 99 is the race leader, 21 is the former race leader. But it should be that the Porsche gets out well clear because, of course, of all the time that the number 21 Mercedes lost just before it came into the pits when it was hit by the Audi, which was exiting the pits. It's going to be a long, long run, though, isn't it? At pit lane speed limit before he's able to rejoin. It's not actually going to be as much in it as I thought. The Porsche makes its way out. There is Luca Ludwig in the Mercedes about to go into the turn. And given that they were 2 seconds clear and then lost, what, 10 or 11 seconds on the grass, that's a bit of a result, I think, for the Mercedes. It's not that far behind.
No, definitely not. It did probably look at Ludwig use the laps, clear laps to push the hammer down and make the gap smaller. But we'll see now how Sven managed to get into the rhythm of the car. But he should not be too much into trouble to keep the rhythm of Robert Renaud and keep the gap between him and Luca Ludwig.
So here's the car that was had picked up the lead briefly because it hadn't pitted. You can see the LED display on the front left of the windscreen there. That's the position in the race rather than the race number. So that shows you, and the fans here, who is where. This looks like a nice smooth stop, though, for the car, which was effectively running in second place. But where will it come out? Because it could be that it's going to rejoin either just in front or just behind the number 21 Mercedes, I would suspect. And I think they just had a really good pit stop as well. A good out lap as well for Luca Ludwig. And I certainly thought that would be perhaps dropping to 4th or 5th position, that Mercedes, but it's almost certainly going to still be in the top 3, and it could still be in second place. They're ready to go, but you've got to make sure you're not released too early, stay within the minimum pit stop time. Gets the message on the radio that you can now go, stick into the pit lane speed limit. So the Porsche comes through. There is the Mercedes coming through as well. It's going to be second place when it all settles down for Luca Ludwig and the number 21 Mercedes, and that car will be bumped back down to 3rd place and a few seconds back. So it must have been a very, very good run through the pits for the Mercedes-AMG team of Luca Stolz and Luca Ludwig, and they could still win the race. Now you're on board with Daniel Karlvitz, who they were one of the front-running teams to make a pretty early driver change. got an Audi and a Lamborghini just under the box as well, coming out of the pits, which is Dennis Bush, who's handed over to Mark Bush in the Twin Bush Motorsport car about to be released. The Audi being hunted down. Car 18 is under investigation. That's one of the Porsches. That's Adrian Delinier and Christopher Friedrich. Doesn't say why, but that car is under investigation. So the Porsche leads, or will do, once everybody else has been into the pits. And the pit window is now closed. But there is the former race leading car. There wasn't much between them anyway. I wonder how far in front they would have been had they not been spun around just before the car came in as well. So Porsche versus Mercedes, it seems to be for the race lead. It's going to be a few seconds back, I would think, for the number 48 Marvin Kirchhofer, now driven Mercedes, the yellow and green one, which was driven in the first part of the race by India Dante. It crosses the line, yes, 7.3 seconds down on the leader. So only 2 seconds behind the race leader is Luca Ludwig. Last lap time, a 123.7 versus a 123.9 more or less for the race leader Sven Muller. So a tenth and a half quicker on that lap, and plenty of time to close the gap here. This is the moment that it could have, well, it did go pear-shaped. It could have all gone very, very wrong though. Just making his way through the corner, minding his own business with the Mercedes, and he saw in the way all of a sudden there was the Audi. The Audi then getting a penalty as a result of that. He tried to get out of it. He actually clipped the grass, I think, didn't he, Alex? And that was what speared the car off in the wrong direction.
Probably, yeah. He might even, I don't know if he clipped the grass, but definitely lost the rear of the car, accelerating. Maybe still the tires a bit cold from the pit stop, even if they are the same tires Connor was driving with. But yeah, lost the rear of the car. Could not. It was a passenger, and then yeah, of course, unfortunately clipped. Lucas Stolz, and we see car number 4.
Yeah, the Audi of Patrick Niederhauser. Dennis Marshall, the Audi racer, Audi TT racer, was in before, where it's pulled off. That looks like probably a technical failure, doesn't it? Rather than the car's gone off, I think.
It's in the last 2-3 corners. The racetrack. We see now, here we see, okay, was battling with the Jaco car, with another Audi.
It's with Philip Geipel in the number 50 Audi. No, that's potential here to have been...
flat tire,
puncture.
Puncture.
Bodywork probably causing that with all that rubbing that was going on.
Yeah,
that's off the track completely, isn't it, for the number 50
Geipel clip on the rear. Yeah, they got a flat puncture tire, so it's now must be between corner 2 and 3. Yeah, we see.
So might be looking at that one as well.
2, pull off corner 2 and park the car in a safe place.
So not much of a run, I'm afraid, for Patrick Niederhauser. He must have done all but a couple of laps in that race. 22 minutes to go. The gap, 2.5 seconds, actually grew on the previous lap. So Sven Muller responding and growing the gap. Did a 123.4 versus a 123.8. 123.8, a few hundredths quicker for the third place car of Marvin Kirchhoff, the Mercedes. A 123.2, quicker than everybody in that lead group, though. In fourth place is number 19, the man I was talking about, Mirko Bertolotti. So ex-Formula 2 champion and the driver that currently leads the Blancpain GT endurance and sprint standings. Mirko Bertolotti flying. And how far? He's only 9/10 of a second behind a podium finish here. And here we go. This is the battle. So there is the Lamborghini of Mirko Bertolotti, the Italian driver, in the green number 19 Lambo, closing in fast on third place here. And the 48 car, young Marvin Kirchhoff, who's come up through Formula 4 and single-seater racing, with his work cut out here to try and hang on to this podium position for, what, another 21 minutes to try and fend off Bertolotti. You've got in fifth place, number 77 Corvette, now driven by Daniel Karlvitz. And that is a move from the number 42 Schnitzer BMW, which is now driven by Philip Eng, to gain a place on the other Corvette, the number 13 Corvette, which is now Max Hacklender. That was a car which was battling for third place, or second place early on in the race, and then tried a bit too hard and went off the road when Sven Barth was behind the wheel. So that is for 11th place. So Philip Eng now up to 11th. The blue Corvette is down to 12th place. Philip Geipel, who's just been in his own battle, is 13th in the green Audi. And 14th, just behind them, is going to be Norbert Siedler now, which is a car, as I said, that failed to get any laps in qualifying. So it's come from the back of the grid to be in 14th place, doing a good job. And with a very experienced Norbert Siedler now aboard, that could still have a chance of getting up into the top 10. So these days, Alex, GT racing, because of the way the cars are built and the technology's very sound, very reliable, it's kind of like sprint racing. I mean, back in the day, you used to sort of...
Oh, it's
that was close, wasn't it? But he's going to get through here, the Lamborghini on the Audi, because it put it off its stride, really, didn't it, coming out of the turn. But there's some smoke coming from the car, bodywork rubbing, and it's not all well there for Norbert Siedler. Damage to the car means that the Audi gets back in front, damage to the front right corner of it as well. Siedler in the black and pink car in strife. But he'll try and bring it home. The bits of bodywork are going to start flying off that car as well. So that puts him down to 14th place now. A car which has been coming well from the back of the field. Philip Geipel's been involved in all sorts of incidents since going back out into the car. So yeah, it's because of the cars are so reliable these days. It's gone of the days where you sort of nursed the car and looked after the car, especially with these 1 hour races. It's like a sprint race flat out for an hour. So in terms of physical fitness, these drivers have to work hard, don't they? And have a specialist training to make sure that their bodies and their minds can live up to the battle for the whole race.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays the GT Endurance has been so tough. Even for a 24-hour race, it's a sprint from the start to the finish. And we have many teams. I know, for example, a good friend of mine is Rade Jukic. He's a doctor and medical. Is working with the team Land Motorsport with his firma Sparta Medic, and he's doing, for example, all the fitness for the team. And he's taking care that the driver has always the enough liquids, and they have to be well in the nutrition and looking for the diet. So this is really important nowadays to be fit, because this is 1 hour full power from the beginning till the end.
And if you can gain a tenth of a second on somebody by being that little bit sharper and fitter, you can see how close the racing is. That makes the difference between winning and not winning.
Exactly, it's really important also mentally, because fitness and mental are really, really connected. If you are not fit physically, you also struggle mentally to keep the pace, to keep the focus on the car. And we are talking about drivers which are now here top speed, driving 250, 260 km an hour during 30 minutes at a full power. So this is really tough for the driver to keep the rhythm up, and for 30 minutes. And if we're talking an endurance race which is longer, for example 24 hours, which is 1 hour, 1 hour and a half on the car, this become a really, really important part of the driver.
Well, any normal non-racing driver that's been and done a bit of karting for 20 minutes, they will feel physically drained and have aching muscles after that, most people. So wrestling a big heavy GT car around for an hour and a half gives you some insight. There's one car's falling to bits at the moment.
Losing the front right light.
No, we don't need the lights anyway, do they, today?
So someone need a spare light from a Lamborghini. You can collect it on the exit of corner 1.
It's probably worth more than my car, that. Yeah. So the Porsche is 2.8 seconds clear of the Mercedes. It's Sven Muller. There he is, number 99. Quite the driver he is. And, of course, with sports prototype Le Mans experience these days as well. Luka Ludwig, the next champion, kind of hanging on to him, but not closing the gap. And then this battle for third place. Now, I have to say, doing an excellent job so far is young Marvin Kirchhofer, the German driver in the yellow and green Mercedes. Third place. All sorts of pressure from the hugely experienced, very, very quick Italian Mirko Bortolotti. I think he's actually started to pull back away from him, Alex.
Yeah, he was really close, Mirko Bortolotti. Now, since 2 laps ago, Marvin Kirchhofer managed to open a little gap, but I think still 16 minutes to go. Mirko Bortolotti is a really experienced driver, so he's maybe waiting that Marvin struggles a bit with the tire or keep the pace down, and I'm sure we will see some attack. We should see some attack towards the end of the race from Mirko towards Marvin Kirchhofer.
Bortolotti and Engelhardt have had 4 straight wins at Monza, Brands Hatch and Silverstone in Blancpain. So you can see what a strong driver he is, but as I say, excellent job so far by the Mercedes man to keep him at bay. Kirchhofer just about 3 lengths clear, 15 and a half, well, nearly 16 minutes to try and hang on to it. There they come over the line. They're 7.7 seconds down on the leaders, but kind of lapping at the same pace. There was a better lap from Ludwig there. He's got the gap back down to 2.4 seconds. The Mercedes all over the curbs and getting slightly out of shape, but just on the limits here. Very quick indeed. There's the gap from first to second, from Porsche to Mercedes, which came down by a few tenths on the previous lap, and then, well, nearly 8 seconds behind now. It's very, very close between these two. What about Daniel Kalvitz in 5th place in the Corvette? 124.1 is falling away slightly and actually being caught by 6th place, which is Kelvin van der Linde. Now, Kelvin is no stranger to the ADAC GT Masters Championship and a very quick driver in the South African. Has still got time to close the gap to get 5th place. He's 2.1 seconds back, but on the previous lap, he gained, what, 6 or 7 tenths of a second. So we can perhaps keep an eye on the number 3. Stoltz.
Yeah, we saw Wolfgang Land, the owner and manager of Land Motorsport, probably apologizing to Lukas Stoll. What happened? The accident happened on the first corner, outside of first corner with Christopher Mies.
Pretty rare that Christopher makes a mistake like that. One thing we should point out in his defence as well, in these cars, you don't have a great deal of visibility, do you? You're so low down in the car.
Yeah, we are really down. I mean, GT car, compared to other racing car, you have a lot of visibility. But if you, for example, see it on a prototype where I'm doing also the LMP3, you have half of the visibility you have here. You sit like inner, I would say it's not for claustrophobic guys if you sit, but if you say you are right, you don't have a lot of visibility. You just depend on your mirrors, and you have like only 100, not even 160 or 150 degrees of visibility. You are pretty tight on this. So yeah, it's really hard to see all those things, and especially those dead points, those dead angles, they increase a lot in these cars.
It shows you've got a million things to think about. He's just trying to get the car out of the pits and back into the race as quickly as he can. And it was just the wrong car at the wrong time as the Mercedes came through. So battles even down for 21st and 22nd position here as they go charging over the start-finish line. Not much between them. This is the 44 Twin Bush Audi, a blue and luminous yellow car in 21st place. Just. It's Mark Bush behind the wheel. And then you've got Ricardo Fella trying to attack and defend at the same time. And the Porsche just behind them as well, trying to find a way through. Nissan, rather, trying to find a way through. So good squabble here, 13 minutes to go. Getting too close to the wall as they come back onto the Indy circuit. Number 8 Audi is Michaela Arling-Kotelinski, who's trying to get past the 44 car, which is Mark Bush. Michaela is a race winner in the Sirocco Art Cup in the Lausitzring, and a couple of seasons now in GT racing. A quick Swedish driver. She is definitely desperate to get through every corner. She's having a look. Looks at the inside here as well, coming through, no doubt about it. Gets ahead of Mark Bush and gains a place. So up to 21st position now for her in the Audi, having taken over from Ricardo Fella, who did the first part of the race in the Audi R8, and more defensive work to do now, because just behind is the MRS GT Racing at Nissan, which is Patrick Huysman, another experienced GT racer, just behind. There he is. These three making their way back out onto the start-finish line. And will he pull out of the slipstream? Yes, indeed he will. And the Nissan might just be squeezing through. You can see the difference in the size of the cars there as they run wheel to wheel, wing mirror to wing mirror. And down the inside he goes, under braking all the way into turn 1 to gain a place. So Patrick Huysman there moving ahead of Mark Bush. He's lost a couple of places now. And Bertolotti is ahead of the Mercedes when we rejoin this battle for second place. So having looked like he was falling away, suddenly they've switched around. And Kirchhofer finds himself staring at the back of the Lamborghini. All the lap times like there. Last time 1:23.
Must be some mistake from Marvin Kirchhofer, because I just looked at the screen the lap before and they were 1.2. Probably run wide. Maybe this is coming from a mistake the corner before.
Yeah.
When we at the same moment we have on the screen a drive-through penalty for the 42 Dan BMW from Philip Eng and Ricky Kohler. Also violation of the article 39.1. So they did something wrong in the pit lane, pit stop.
Frustrating, isn't it, for the team that the car was going well. Of course, that is the team that lead the championship. The championship leaders, Ricky Kohler and Philipp Engin. Not many people had two good races at the first round at Oschersleben, so they had a win and a 10th place finish. But that was enough to get them the championship lead, 26 points from 25 points to Michael Ammermuller and Mathieu Hamenet. But they are, well, they're doing okay. They're in 7th place, but they're not challenging for huge amounts of points. Ammermuller, the Porsche man, up to 7th place, and number 17, 911. Now, the driver I was talking about there in the background in the black Audi is catching fast, and it's the South African driver Kelvin van der Linde who's closing up to Daniel Karlwitz. So Kelvin van der Linde, he's only 20 years of age. For a few seasons, this is his third season as a works Audi GT3 driver now. He's also racing in the VLN and Blancpain this year. It's currently second in the Australian GT Championship as well this year with a couple of rounds to go, driving the factory Audi, and he was the GT Masters champion in 2014. There you see the Sebastian Ash driven Motorsport Mercedes. Sebastian Ash, double champion, son of Roland Ash, the ex-DTM racer. As into the pits comes number 42 to serve the drive-through penalty, Philipp Eng. So Philipp, he's not going to score any points now. That's no chance of a top 10, I'm afraid, for that pit stop violation. 9.5 minutes to go. So 2.4 seconds the gap from Sven Muller to Luca Ludwig. That looks safe. Third and fourth we know have swapped around, and 0.7 of a second clear now is Bortolotti in the Lamborghini from Kirchhofer in the Mercedes. Fifth place is Daniel Karlwitz, who's got flying after him Kelvin van der Linde in the number 3 Audi, and only 0.7 of a second back now. Michael Ammermuller, number 17, looking like he might inherit the championship lead here, is in 7th place. 8th place is the number 6 Team HB Racing Lamborghini, which is Christopher Zanella now. Sebastian Ash in 9th place in the Mercedes, and 10th place is the number 25 Frank Stippler driven Audi R8, the Muka Motorsport car. So that's the top 10. And up to 11th place now, because that was where Philipp Eng was running. Up to 11th place comes number 13, which is Maximilian Hacklender in the number 13 Corvette. Geipel's up to 12th, and Seidler from the back of the grid up to 13th. Rejoining, I think, in 14th place is Philipp Eng. So bad luck for them. Of course, they might not pick up the championship lead here, Ammermuller and Aminé, because the team that are third in the standings are Sven Muller and Robert Renauer. 21 points, only 5 points off the championship lead, and looking like they're going to pick up the maximum 25 points here. But what about the lower positions in the top 10? He's caught him up, hasn't he? And Kelvin van der Linde has got the gap down to almost nothing now. And he's getting close to the tail of the Corvette. The Corvette, though, gets better traction coming out of the corner, doesn't he? Pulls back away from the Audi.
Yeah, historically the Corvette is also a car which has a lot of power. I think it's the most powerful car we have on the grid, and it's famous, or it's well known from its top speed and its power down. So this is helping a little bit now the Corvette to pull away. Let's see if the Audi can manage in the corners to use this extra aero the Audi has from the conception, and maybe Kelvin van der Linde can put some pressure into Daniel Karlwitz.
It's been a bit of a slog to close. I think it was about 2.5 seconds down. It's taken him a long time to close the gap, and there are certainly points where the Audi falls back away.
We see now on the braking. We see now on the braking the Audi is able to catch the gap, to reduce the gap. But then as soon as we have a straight or a long part, the Corvette it's getting up to speed again. Daniel Karlwitz cutting well the curbs, running a bit on the grass, getting always here close to the wall.
Part of the fascination of GT racing is that you get different types of car with different strengths and weaknesses, but over the lap they're very evenly matched, aren't they?
Exactly. This is we have also the known BOP, which is called the balance of performance, which is a system that try to balance the performance of the car, so they are at the end of the day, what are you saying, different with different strengths. And when we see Christopher Mies
making Christian Engelhardt's Lamborghini a little bit lighter there.
I think it's the car from Emil Lindholm.
They're still close together. Christopher Mies onto the tail of the Emil Lindholm, you're right, the 66 Lamborghini it is, not the 63 Lamborghini. And defending, getting to that corner first, wasn't he? Christopher Mies, of course, is trying to get back up the order, but 20th place, no chance of any points. And success ballast is something that's added to the cars, as well as handicap weight. So the handicap weight's added to the cars depending on the driver pairings, whether you've got 2 AMs together, or a pro and a semi-pro, or what the combination is. There is weight added to the cars. So you get 2 pros together, it's 30 kilograms added to the car. If you get a semi and a pro, 20 kilograms gets added. If there are 2 semi-drivers, 15 kilograms gets added. But if there's a non-pro and a semi-pro driver, nothing is added, and there's nothing added if they're both amateur drivers, both non-pros as well. Here we go. Breathe in. He's going to get there first. The Lamborghini is going to get there first, just about on the way into the corner. So this is down in 16th, 15th and 16th positions, but still some great battling going on here. It's all happening down into turn 1 as well.
Yeah, Krista Engelhardt just overtook Elia Earhart, and now Elia Earhart is getting the pressure from Maxi Göks, ex-DTM driver. Now focusing more in the GT career, he dives into the inside, get the inside line, and get the job done.
Yeah, he's come back to where he started, really, hasn't he? Max Götz, who was a champion in the GT Masters, and before he went off to race for a couple of seasons in DTM. Picked up some good results in DTM. Got a 4th place finish last year, got a 5th place finish the year before, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the consistency of results. So, and with the DTM grid shrinking from 24 to 18 drivers this year, he's one that's missed the cut, I'm afraid. But still with I'm sure, a very decent career ahead of him, the newly bearded Max Götz, popular German driver. So there is the race leader going through shot, the Porsche, 2.5 seconds clear of the car. You now look at the Mercedes. In between them, you've got Mark Bush's Twin Bush Motorsports Audi R8, which is about to be lapped. There's your race leader, Sven Muller. He's kept this gap more or less static, hasn't he, through the whole of his stint. It's been around 2.4, 2.5 seconds the whole time here. But you've got to keep pushing if you're Luca Ludwig, just in case there's some traffic, because it wouldn't take too much traffic in the wrong corner to delay the race leader. You could easily lose that 2 seconds, couldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It's still three minutes, more than 3 minutes to go, and small mistake, small traffic situation can make the gap from 2.5 seconds to 0. So you need to keep focus. You need to keep the rhythm and try to don't do any mistake. We also see we got a black and white flag for car number 1, Christopher Mies. Probably regarding the small tap he got before with Emil Lindholm and the Lamborghini. It's
been eventful literally since he got in the car, hasn't it?
Christopher
Mies. So I'm not going to get much from it, I'm afraid. In 20th place currently. There then is Kelvin van der Linde, having caught up Daniel Karvitz. Daniel, good driver. He's somebody who's good to watch as well. He hasn't really had much overtaking to do in this race, the way it's fallen for him in the second stint. But he's somebody I've seen pull off fantastic moves in the past. But he's doing some good defensive driving here. Corvettes have always gone well here at Lausitzring. The high-speed bends and the long straights suit the car. The Audi a bit more nimble though through the infield. This is where Kelvin van der Linde will start to close that gap back up. This is the battle for 5th place, 0.8 of a second between them, 2.5 minutes to go. Can Kelvin get one more position here? Get himself back up ahead of that Corvette. Not an empty track around them. There's no traffic to deal with. Plenty of space here at the Lausitzring. Great sound from the V8 of the Corvette as the Chevrolet accelerating out of the corners. Flashing through shot with 3rd and 4th there, with Bortolotti edging away now, 1.9 seconds clear of Kirchhofer. It was patient when he finally got through. He proved to be the quicker of the two. So it's going to be Porsche, Mercedes, Lamborghini, 3 different marks in the top 3.
We just see Christian Engelhardt going purple in the first sector.
15th place, but still pushing like mad, isn't he? Yeah, 27.6 in the first sector. Compare that with the leaders who are in the low 28s. That's just in the first sector. He gained best part of half a second. Looking back again from Daniel Karvitz in the number 77 machine. There he is. Valvoline livery on the car, but here the Audi looks even closer, doesn't it, as it comes back onto the banking, looking to pick up a toe, use that effectively as extra horsepower. Daniel Karvitz, former GT3 European champion and winner of this GT Masters Championship in 2013. He got 5 wins that season when he was partnered with Diego Alessi. 3rd in the championship last year with his new teammate these days, which is Jules Guénon, and doing a fine job here to hang on to the position. 5th and 6th, big gap back to 7th place Michael Ammermuller. He was all out on his own really. He's 6.7 seconds clear of Zanelli in 8th place, who's got actually Sebastian Ash right with him, and that might we want to keep an eye on as well for 8th place. Sebastian Ash trying to get a few more points towards the championship, driving in the number 26 Muka Motorsport Mercedes. So this is where the Corvette will stretch its legs, and 32 seconds left on the clock. Almost home and dry now for Sven Muller. After
he lost almost a second in the last 2 or 3 laps.
Just bringing it home, you suspect. 20 seconds left on the clock. So, yeah, still worth pushing this for Luka Ludwig. Through the first sector, he actually loses a bit of time. So Sven Muller, perhaps we didn't see a bit of traffic perhaps slowing him up. But anyway, started to edge back away now. Clock down to 0, so the checkered flag awaits. You can see how close it is now visibly. Ably supported though. It's a very good first stint from Robert Renaud. He made a good start initially and then kept the pace up and kept them in the hunt, didn't he? So, but there's no doubt about it, Alex, they will be ruining Luka Ludwig and his teammates, particularly Lukas Stoltz, who was in the car at the time. That incident when the Audi of Christopher Mies came out, clipped them and sent them into a spin, because they must have lost 10 seconds there, and they're only a second and a half away from winning their race. So they will say, had it not been for that, we'd have won this one. But that is racing sometimes, and Sven Muller doing a fantastic job in the Porsche to come through and start what's going to be the final lap of the race. The clock has ticked down to 0. They had a lap on at the end of the 60 minutes. And what's the gap? 1.1 seconds. It came down a bit more towards the end of that lap as well. There's a bit of traffic to deal with here. He's just got to keep chasing, hasn't he, Luka Ludwig, and hope that Sven Muller has a moment somewhere. Up to 130 kilometres an hour, getting hard on the throttle. Still not caught in the back marker. Still bits of debris to dodge as well. On board with the race leader. He's got 2 to deal with here. Could do without this.
Car losing some oil, or
Lamborghini getting out of the way. He's got a Nissan to deal with now as well. Of course, the man behind him, Luka Ludwig, has got to get through all this traffic as well. And he's got the Nissan in between them now. So Sven Muller decisive through the traffic. That might just give himself enough advantage here to bring this home for the final half lap of the race. See 3rd and 4th out the window, the gap growing between them. And looking out the window, making their way through the middle of the lap, are the Daniel Kalvitz Corvette and Calvin van der Linde in the number 3 ADAC Motorsport Audi, but the gap's opened up between them, so I don't think Calvin's going to get through. But the checkered flag is waiting, and here comes the number 99 Porsche. Precourt Herberth Motorsport are going to be winners here at the Lausitzring, with Sven Muller and Robert Renaud taking the 9th victory for Porsche here at the Lausitzring. Excellent job all the way through the race. Robert Renaud certainly played his part. It was a very good drive from Robert in the first part of the race. The checkered flag comes out, and there is that ailing Lamborghini. It's flailing off the car. Smoke pouring out of it, but he comes back. I thought it had got a puncture as well. It's the 66 ML Lindholm car. We saw that in with contact earlier on in the race, didn't we? And just about got it to the line there, albeit a lap down. Second place going to Luka Ludwig, then 3rd place going to Mirko Bortolotti, and 4th place was Marvin Kirchhofer. So it is a win by 1.5 seconds for number 99, Robert Renaud, and Sven Muller for Precourt Herberth Motorsport and the Porsche. Luka Ludwig and Lukas Stoltz for Mercedes-AMG in 2nd place. 3rd place, the number 19 Grassa Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan of Mirko Bortolotti and Ezequiel Perez Campak. And then 4th place, 3rd for quite some time, but just falling back in the last quarter of the race, was number 48, Marvin Kirchhofer, and indeed Deontay started the car. 5th place, that was the Mercedes. 5th place, the first of the Corvettes, was Daniel Kalvitz and Jules Gounon. They were just clear in the end of Calvin van der Linde, who fell back on the last couple of laps. Calvin van der Linde, as you can see the results, provisional results on the screen there, getting the number 3 ADAC Motorsport Audi close after Marcus Pommer, ex-F3 and F2 racer, got the car up there in the first part of the race. That was 6th place. 7th place, and I reckon probably the championship lead, going to Michael Ammermuller and Mathieu Yamane as well. They were 7th, but others around them, including the championship leaders, not picking up points at all here, because the championship leaders, Philip Eng and Ricky Carlard, who won one of the 2 races at Oschersleben for the opening weekend of the season, got a drive-through penalty for a pit window infringement and only finished in 18th place in the end. So 8th place going to the number 26 car of Sebastian Asch and Stefan Mucker, the pink Mucker Motorsport Mercedes. On his first visit here for 11 years. That's not a bad result for Stefan Mucker. 9th place goes to number 6, Florian Spengler and Christopher Zanella for Team HB Racing in the Lamborghini Huracan. And rounding out the top 10, the number 25, ADAC Motorsport Audi R8 of Mike David Ortmann and Frank Stippler. A very young and a very experienced driver pairing there. So the Porsche heads in. Porsche, Mercedes, Lamborghini, the top three. Mercedes fourth, Corvette fifth with Chevrolet, and the best of the Audis in sixth place in the end. That being Kelvin van der Linde and Marcus Pommer. We'll have the top three onto the podium. You also have the best Masters Trophy driver as well, which is for the more senior drivers in the championship. If you're a non-pro driver and you're aged 30 and above, you can go into the Masters Trophy and get a separate points and separate prizes. We see our top two hugging each other. Two drivers that won the race rather hugging each other. If you're a semi-pro driver and aged 35 and above, you also qualify for the Masters Trophy. There's also top three in the Junior Trophy as well. That's for drivers aged 25 and under. And your teammate, even if the driver that you drive with is not a junior, will come up on the podium with you. Well, they're all very pleased with their work after what was a tough race here at Lausitzring. Action-packed right from the word go. All sorts going on. If you take your mind back to the first lap, we had 2 or 3 different incidents. The safety car coming out. We had some very good moves. We had some late braking. Luca Bortolotti very happy to get the Lamborghini up onto the podium. Having a pretty good season so far. Sven Muller and Robert Renauer are the top two. Slightly bittersweet second place, I would suggest, for Luca Ludwig and Luca Stoltz. Definitely the one that got away that, and not really through any fault of their own. But still, good result and good points towards the championship. After not particularly successful first weekend by their very high standards at Oschersleben. They were in the points in both races, but were only able to pick up two 8th place finishes. But still, it's a championship that goes down to the wire, and all these points add up. I think it's every year since 2007, this GT Championship has gone down to the last weekend of the season, and no doubt it's going to be something similar again, because that is now 3 races, and that's 3 different winners. Race 1 at Oschersleben was won by Michael Ammermuller and Mathieu Hamane. Race 2 was won by Ricky Collard and Philippe Eng, and race 3 of the season, the first one of 2 here at the Lausitzring, won by Sven Muller and Robert Renauer. So top three cars parked up. Lots of media and friends and teammates gathered. Big crowd in the grandstand here as well. And excellent performance. Sven Muller doing a typical Sven Muller job, really, just controlling things from the front. But I think you have to, Alex, give quite a big nod to the driver that took the car into that position in the first place. Robert Renauer did well, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they did a flawless job. No mistakes. Fortunately, they got into favor, or they were lucky, because Christopher Mies tapped Lukas Stoltz. So actually, I would say Lukas Stoltz and Luca Ludwig are the moral winners of the race, because they didn't deserve this small accident to happen. But yeah, I mean, they did a flawless performance, no mistakes, no pit stop mistake, everything worked out perfectly, and they end up winning the race. Yeah,
and well, at least they finished second, didn't they? Because at one point, with losing as much time as they did with the spin, I thought they could have ended up coming out of the pit stop window being in perhaps about 4th or 5th place, but they did so well to still keep themselves in second place and not too far back, only a couple of seconds back on the leaders. But yeah, they'll add at the time that they lost and say, yeah, that was ours, really. So there they are, 2 Porsche men in the middle of the picture. One to your left is Sven Muller, patting on the tummy Robert Renauer. Come on, smile, he says. We just won the race. Lamborghini pairing to the left, having finished 3rd. Both Compag and Bortolotti. And the Mercedes pairing will head to the podium with them now of Lukas Stoltz and Luca Ludwig. Ludwig and Sebastian Asch, both sons of ex-DTM racers, Roland Asch and Klaus Ludwig, who themselves used to be teammates, and the 2 sons were teammates for quite some time and won the title together in GT Masters, but now both racing in different cars and racing against each other. So they make their way to the podium, our top 3 drivers, after what was a very entertaining race. But some big names that didn't do so well in that race there, Alex, and certainly you'd think poor race for Conor De Felipe and Christopher Mies in terms of the result. There's Sven Barth, who had his own moment, didn't he, going through the gravel trap early on, had a quite feisty start to the race. And certainly an opportunity missed to pick up some useful points for the drivers that were leading the championship, Philip Eng and Ricky Collard. But it's kind of par for the course, isn't it, really, in GT Masters racing? Just because you win one race, you can't really expect to be up there next time, because everybody seems to take their turn. And you also have, if you're in the top 3 in the championship, you get success ballast as well, so it evens itself out over the course of the season. If you can win 3 or 4 races, that's probably as much as you can hope for, and then just pick up points in the others. Yeah,
exactly. It's a championship like this where you have so many professional drivers and professional teams. You need to be really constant, really try to be always in these top 5, top 10, top 5, top 10 positions. If you get away with some podium or some victory, it's perfect. It's really good, because of course it will give you more points, but we will not see a winner every race. Repeating, so someone which is repeating every race on the podium every race. We will see guys which are closing or farther away, but not someone which is all the races in the podium or in the top positions.
Absolutely right. Case in point being last year, Conor De Felipe and Christopher Mies only won 1 race all season long. That was the second race at the Nürburgring, but they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other podium finishes.
Exactly.
And only twice were they not in the points, so that's where they won it. So some breaking through the clouds here. Porsche with another good result. As I say, they're the most successful team here at the Lausitzring of all the GT Masters. Well, not team, but Mark. And there is an update of the points. Sven Muller and Robert Renauer into the points lead on 46. Michael Ammermuller and Mathieu Hamanet gain 1 and lose 1, so they're still second on 31. Daniel Karvitz and Jules Ganon, where they finished last year in 3rd place on 28 points. Luca Ludwig and Luca Stoltz do move up the table quite a long way, because they were 12th. So they're now up to 4th place on 26 points. We're already 20 points down on the race leaders, or the championship leaders and race winners. So they're now being called up to the podium. Winners up first. Clenched fists for Sven Muller. And more silverware to add to the growing collection. It's going to need another house soon to fit them all in. Champagne at the ready. Robert Renauer joining him on the top step of the podium. Luca Stoltz leads Luca Ludwig onto 2nd place. Don't look the happiest in the world, do they? And you can understand why. And if they miss out on the championship at the end of the season by a few points, they'll always go back to this. It's going to haunt them, isn't it? But wasn't their doing. Bortolotti looks well pleased, doesn't he, to be up on the podium?
He's getting used to this.
Yeah, pretty much every time he drives a car now, it's a trophy of one sort or another. Usually, as I say, in Blancmont, winning races. I think, well, Perez Compact joining on the podium as well. And then we have the award for our top junior driver, already dressed down, having done the first part of the race. And now we'll have our winners' national anthem. So the national anthem of our race winners, the German national anthem. Yeah, not the junior driver coming up, it was the team, winning team to the left. You're saying, Alex, it's actually Robert Renauer's brother that's come up to collect the trophy as the winning team.
Yeah, one of the funny points of the paddock, if you know Robert and Alfred, you never know who is Robert, who is Alfred, twin brothers. So yeah, if someone can have a short look, Alfred is on the left now and Robert is driving, but sometimes they all drive together and it's not possible to know who is who.
Easier when one's in a race, I suppose, but there he is, Alfred to the left. Winning team being ADAC Motorsport. And our trophies for third place presented to the Lamborghini pairing of Ezequiel Compaq and Mirko Bertolotti, the Italian driver. And a great old clock. Brand manager of Stetina, Philip Ritter, presents that to the winning team and to Alfred Renauer. Not going to lose that, is he, in a hurry? It's got an alarm clock on it. It's going to make a right old racket in the morning. But great prize there. And they'll now pose for some photos. Luka Ludwig's getting poised with the champagne. Look, he's the first. He's not bothered with the trophy. He's got that champagne. I think he's targeting his man already. He's probably going to go chase Christopher Mees down the pit lane with it later on. Get his own back. Another race and qualifying session to come. Here we go then. The champagne spray. And they all get a bit sticky and a bit wet. Qualifying session with the higher graded drivers tomorrow. It's the higher graded drivers that will start race 2. The lower graded drivers, the other way round, will go second in the race. Sven Muller almost chased off the podium with the champagne spray. I'm very pleased indeed, as you'd expect, with a bonus win really for him and the team. So a very entertaining ADAC GT Masters race here, the third of 2017. They've got another race tomorrow. After this, they're off to the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Then they go to Holland, to Zandvoort for a couple of races. The Nürburgring follows, Sachsenring and Hockenheim are the last 2 events of the season. So some top circuits, not just in Germany, but around Europe. Some very quick circuits to look forward to as well. Slow-mo replay there of the champagne spray. So that wraps up the ADAC GT Masters coverage from Alex Tyrrell and me, Chris Hartley. Hope you've enjoyed it, and that you'll join us again later in the weekend for race 2.